Have you ever tried to get out of a relationship, but the only way you could figure out how to do it was murder? Well, today we're going to go over Belle Gunness.
Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX, MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much, and enjoy the show.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Yes, today we're going to go over Belle Gunness. It's kind of a weird one. I was just scrolling through all the serial killers and everything, trying to figure out which one to actually do this week, and this one came up. Let's see who this villainous person is. Belle Gunness was born, and we're going to have Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking, from the grave. Please help us out.
Reinhold Paul Studer Storseth.
Yeah. Sorset. We'll just go Sorset. That's the only thing I pronounce. And here's another one. But she was born in Silbru Sort Torlag, Norway, on November 11th, 1859, to Paul and Bert. Stephen Hawking, from the grave.
Brit.
Sorset. She was the youngest of 8 children. She was confirmed at the Church of Norway in 1874. At the age of 14, Gunness began her work for neighboring farms by milking and herding cattle to save money up for their journey to New York City. She moved to the United States in 1881 when she was processed by immigration at the Castle Garden. She changed her first name to Bella, then traveled to Chicago to join her sister, Nellie, who had immigrated several years earlier. In Chicago, while living with her sister and brother-in-law, Gunness worked as a domestic servant, basically a maid. Then got a job as a butcher shop cutting up animal carcasses. At this time, when she was at her top peak of her age, she was 5'7" and weighed 210 pounds to 250. Can't get an exact measurement on the weight, I guess. And she was physically strong in appearance. Going on the first set of deaths, Gunness married Mad Dallas Anto Sornes. I'm surprised I got that one. In 1884, the couple owned a candy store, which later burnt to the ground along with their home. And both insurance granted the couple's insurance payout. Two babies in the Gunness home had died from inflammation from of the large intestine, which can result from poisoning. Foreshadowing. Anyways, Gunness had insured both of the children and collected a large sum of checks after each death. Neighbors gossiped about how the babies were died, since Gunness never appeared to be pregnant. That is weird. Okay, moving on. Sorsen, the father, had purchased 2 life insurance policies, and on July 30th, 1900, both policies were active at the same time, as one would expire that day and the other would enter into force. Sorset died from cerebral hemorrhaging that day. Gunness explained he had come with a headache, and she provided him with Cortine powder. Cortine powder is... I should have had this pulled up, and I didn't. Let's see what Cortine powder is, everyone. Cortine powder is a bark extract herbal supplement for boosting immune system. I guess it's not poisonous or anything like that. So, anyways, for the pain, she later checked on him and he was dead. Gunness collected the money from the life insurance policies, and which totaled around $5,000. And with the insurance money, she moved to La Porte, Indiana, and she bought a pig farm. This is like the fourth one. Fourth, Bella married Peter Gunness, where she gets her last name, on April 1st, 1902. The following week, while Peter was out of the house, his infant daughter died of unknown causes in Bella's care. Peter died 8 months later due to a skull injury. Bella explained that that Peter reached for something on the high shelf and a meat grinder fell on him, smashing his skull. District Court converted a coroner's jury and suspected murder, but nothing came of the case. Bella collected $3,000 in insurance money for Peter's death and the many disappearances in her care. Gunness began placing marriage ads in Chicago newspaper in 1905. One of her ads was answered by a Wisconsin farmhand, Henry Gottholt. After traveling to Laporte, Gottholt wrote his family saying that he liked the farm and was in good health, requesting some seed potatoes. Seed apples. when they failed to, I can't do. I do little chuckles on stuff I mess up on, and then I try to read the serious stuff. It's all kinds of funny. Anyways, when they failed to hear from him after that, the family contacted Gunness. She told them that Gottholt had gone off with the horse trader to Chicago. She kept his trunk and fur overcoat. Joe Moe of Minnesota answered Gunness' ad in 1906 after they had corresponded for several months. Moe traveled to LaPorte and withdrew a large amount of cash, although no one ever saw Moe again. A carpenter who did occasional work for Gunness observed that Moe's trunk remained in her house, along with many dozen others. Her criminal activities came to light in April 1908 when Gunness' farm in LaPorte, Indiana, burnt to the ground. In the ruins, authorities found bodies of headless adult women, initially identified as Belle Gunness and her 3 children. Further investigation unearthed the partial remains of at least 11 additional people on Gunness' property. After a file at the Gunness homestead led to the discovery of bodies believed to be Gunness and her children. LaPorte's police authorities were contacted by Ellis Helgen, who had found correspondence between his brother Andrew Helgens and Gunness. The letter included a petition for him to relocate to LaPorte and to bring money and to keep the move a secret. A visit by Ellis Helligan to the Gunness farm with a farmer hired hand led to the attention to paid to soft depressions in what had been made into a pen for hogs. After briefly digging up one of the depressions of the lot, a gunny sack was found to contain 2 hands, 2 feet, and 1 head, which Helligan recognized to be those of his brothers. Immediate inspection of the site revealed that there was a dozen of such slumbering depressions in the Gunness yard. And further digging investigation at the site yielded multiple burlap sacks containing torsos, hands, arms hacked from the shoulders down, masses of human bones wrapped in loose flesh that draped like jelly. Whoa. From trash covered depressions that proved to be graves. In each case, the bodies have been butchered in the same manner. The body decomposition, the arms removed from the shoulders, and the legs severed at the knee. Blunt trauma and gashes characterized the skull that were found that had been separated from the bodies. Lucas Riley, quoted in the Chicago Interior Ocean in Metal Floss, noted that what is Metal Floss? Oh, it's actually a media group based in New York City. But there actually is a website, Metal Floss, which presents its facts, puzzles, and trivia. That's okay. But Lucas Riley noted that the bones had been crushed on the ends as though they had been struck with hammers after they had been dismembered, and that quicklime had been scattered over the faces and stuffed in the ears. What is quicklime? I think that's lime. Hold on, everybody. Let's investigate this. Quicklime powder. What is quicklime powder? Quicklime powder. It's basically to help your soil out. Calcium oxide. Burnt lime is a widely used chemical compound. Hold on real quick. Let's get here. It's chemical compound. It is carsic, alkaline, crystal solid at room temperature. Probably used term is lime. Okay. Oh, okay. It's just lime. Okay. Just different wordings for that stuff. After finding the parts of the 5 bodies on the first day and an additional 6 on the second, some in shallow graves under the original hog pen, others near the outhouse or a lake, police stopped counting, which these discoveries and participants of Belle Gunness, as reported in the newspaper, described as a praiseworthy woman dying in a fire that consumed her house, and a desperate attempt to save her children, were released. Despite the initial success with the identification of Andrew Helligan's, and despite the fact that widened news coverage of mass murder invited inquiries from families with men that had gone missing, most of the remains could not be identified. The involvement of Ray Lamper. Lamper was Gunness's hired hand on the on and off again lover. In November 1908, Lamper was convicted of arson in connection with the fire at Gunness' house. Lamper later confessed that Gunness had placed advertisements seeking male companionship only to murder and rob the men who responded, and subsequently visited her at the farm. Lumpsire stated that Gunness asked him to burn down the farmhouse with her children inside. Lumper has also asserted that the bodies thought to be Gunness was, in fact, a murder victim, chosen and planted in to mislead the investigators. The brother of one of the victims had warned Gunness that he might arrive at the farm shortly to investigate his brother's disappearance. According to the landlord, this impeding visit motivated Gunness to destroy her house, fake her own death, and flee. When Lensfear, okay, I got it, was arrested, he was wearing John Moe's overcoat and Henry Guthort's watch. Edward Bleachley, a journalist, had given a secret assignment to acquire access to a confession and publish it, thus bringing a second inconsistent Stephen Hawking from the grave. Help me out.
Inconsistent.
Inconsistent. Lamport, according to Light, the second account is based on the report. The contractor contacted a Reverend Edward Schultz and proved him with a oral confession that Schultz described and had Lemphier sign, a document that Schultz kept sealed in his personal safe. Bleachley attempted to convince Shell to allow him to publish this letter, his confession, but was denied by both Schultz and Schultz's wife. However, a separate newspaper published a story with speculation regarding the second Lamphere confession, described as worried as a piece of the family of the victims. Shell offered a confession to Bleach, which was later published, and the Bleach narrative entitled Lansfear's Confession, containing the summary from Bleach. In the confession, Lansfear said that he had killed Miss Gunness and the children with the axe, sprinkled the bodies with kerosene and set them on fire, and the house. It gave details of this slaying and told of his part of the former murders which occurred on Gunness' farm, his task usually being to bury the bodies in the garden. The essential fact, however, was that the murderess was not alive as a fugitive. The publication of Lamphere's confessions resulted in subsequent arrest of his accomplice, Elizabeth Smith. The inconsistencies between the two confessions included the matter of the survival of Belle Gunness, remaining historical issues that it was not fully resolved. Belle Gunness was pronounced dead, even though the doctor was who performed the postmortem testification that the headless body was 5 inches shorter and about 50 pounds lighter than Gunness. No explanation was provided to what happened to the body's head. Whether Gunness died in the fire or escaped remains uncertain, although the sheriff blamed the Chicago American reporter for investigating the escape story. Reporting sightings of Gunness in the Chicago area continued long after she was declared dead. At the time, police looked into the reports of the women suspected to be Bella, none of which led to the apprehension. In 2008, DNA tests were performed on the headless corpse in an attempt to compare DNA in the corpse against several other letters Gunness has sent to one of her victims, but due to the age, the samples was not properly tested. After Gunness' crimes came to light, the Gunness farm became a tourist attraction. Speculators came from across the country to see mass graves. Concessions and souvenirs were sold. Why do they? Man, I understand that a lot of people just like to. They're murder junkies, I guess you'd call them, or serial killer junkies, whatever you want to describe yourself. It doesn't really matter. But making someone infamous, so to speak, and doting on them, it's beyond me. If they're a piece of shit, they're a piece of shit in my eyes. Moreover, the crimes became acknowledged part of the area's history. The LaPorte County Historical Society Museum has a permanent Belle Gunness exhibit. Gunness has been the subject of 2 American musical ballads and Method, a 2004 film starring Elizabeth Hurley as Rebecca, who portrayed Gunness in the film. Within the film, which was shot in Romania. In 2017, a True Crime podcast, My Favorite Murderer, performed a later release, a live episode detailing Gunness crimes. And I guess, they all did that. It's a lot of podcasts on this woman. I think Time Suck did it too. Let me see here. Let me see. Oh, I think Dan did this too. Yeah, he did one. Jeez, I don't know how he does the time on these things. He does 2 hours. Anyways, like always, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. And I hope you enjoyed this. And goodbye.